Yes, very good afternoon. Actually, previous week we were completed the ghost points. Totally there are the 13 points, right? So in that, do you have any doubt so that we can proceed to some other topic? Illa doubt to clear agide ansutte. So let me see, just I would like to give us a insight of the ghost points. So what are the reason? Ghost is nothing but something is accumulated in the form of the hidden way to kind of the phlegm or kind of the dampness or humidity which is accumulated in the brain system or anywhere in the body, so which leads to the some kind of the mental disorders or some kind of the psychiatric related problems or the psychosomatic diseases, so on, right? So anywhere in the body, for example, majorly that causing the problem of the CNS or ENS or ANS or SNS and PNS, so etc., right? So in this way, anything connected to the gallbladder and the small intestine also leads to problems. We all know there is the person is who could not able to take the right decision on the right time, or the person could not have take the proper judgment to take the decision. All are connected to the two different organs. What are those? Wonderful, right? Then when the person is very dilemma, confusion state and he could not take the right decision, then what could be the reason? It is really mental related problem or something else also leads to that problems. So in normally there are the two organs which already I told. Number one is, as you rightly said, is the gallbladder. The other organ to be known as a small intestine. I think you people remembered that. So when we wanted to take the decision, but we take the decision, sometimes we cannot become the judgment or have the mental clarity is not there to take the decision. So here is the ghost point also will be helpful for that situation. But however, there are the small intestine and gallbladder accumulation of the phlegm inside that particular organs also leads to the several mental related diseases. But as per the Dr. Gionia Mesasio, he says that there is the mental clarity or open up the mind to be taken place by the two particular specific points to be given. So that point is, one is a Yangu, the second one is Chiksu. Yangu is SI5, the second point is Chiksu, that is gallbladder 40, right? So these are the two major points to be take the decision on the right time. So definitely that will be helpful to one and all. Now we are looking about the ghost points are very crucial. Normally sometimes we see the psychosomatic diseases. The people sometimes someone told, yes, this you perhaps have some other problem like kuch ho gaya hai, black magic or something connected to the evil is affected or the devil is affected or some ghost is affected. So ghost itself is, we are very alert. Especially in the some of the people have some kind of the evil. Because of the angels are there, we need to believe it, and how we are there, like that the other spirit or evil people also more than 3 times greater than the human people who are living. For example, we are like a 700 to 800 crores people are living across the globe. So this 3 times more than living people or other living creatures are there who are invisible for us. So that will going to accomplish on our body somewhere, it is connected in that way. Some people believe, some people doesn't believe on the ghost, but however, so which have seen that directly, and people affected this really affected, some people are not really affected, and somebody told this has been happened to them. In that case they took to their mind, yes मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है, हो रहा है, रात में कुछ परेशानी हो रहा है, धड़ हो रहा है, तो palpitation, so many things will going to get, and because of all the negative thoughts it will going to register in the mind, which leads to the normal healthy life. He can't do it. So in this way, these spirit points or the ghost points definitely will be helpful for that situation, and to withdraw and remove this kind of the unwanted thoughts is suicidal symptoms are coming to the mind. So even today you can look at, there are the lot of awareness is going on stating that withdraw this kind of the suicidal thoughts, and we have to bring the more awareness to bring the positivity among the common children and especially the school and college students. and even after the very soon abruptly after getting the marriage, and suddenly they get some kind of the lot of issues in between the in-laws, which leads to so many problems. When the people come to you and says that with the crying, they will come and tell you, see, this is the situation. So that time the emotionally get affected. I told you 7 emotions are there. If those emotions get affected, definitely we have the solution to add up. These are the 13 ghost points, but here we are divided into 3 points, set of the points, because the major physiology about this is concept is we need to connect to three points. One point is the heaven, the second point is the human, the third point is the earth. So we need to connect 3 together by activating the 3 protocols. The ghost points to be treatable, all the 13 points is not recommended to apply in one time. That causes very harmful to our health. So that's the reason we should apply 3 protocols. I mean each time 3 particular points. That's the combo protocols which is communicating to the 3. One is heaven, human and earth. Right, based on the TCM principles. Now let me see what are those. So now the Prof.Samiullah is the father of the medicine, right? Prof.Samiullah in the 6th century, that is king of the Chinese medicine. So you just see how the person is Prof.Samiullah, and he introduced this ghost points are related to the acupuncture points. Now let me see, there are the 4 groups of the points, each group having the 3 number of the points. One is the Du Ren Sung, that is the other name is Shuai Go Du26, and then Shao Shang Lu11, and In Poi, that is spleen 1. So reviving but consciousness and severe hallucinations. So this is really very much essential to bring the consciousness. People are very sluggishness and very slow, and they don't want to do any kind of the activity, and always they are in the shy people. So in that case, the people who have more dampness situation or more obesity, and for them themselves they feel I'm looking very bad, and it's my body shape is not good, and I'm very kind of the water accumulated in my body like obesity. All are connected to that. They doesn't feel about themselves good. So in this situation, definitely there are the 3 points. You just apply one. Du26 is connecting to the heaven, the second is human is connecting to the Lu11, and Inpa is connecting to the earth. Right, so these are the 3 protocols. In one time you can use it. The people who says they have the very griefness and sadness and worries and anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, so hysteria, mania, all are connected to these points. So definitely you can add up this. Spontaneous laughing, the person who laughs without reason, even that condition also. At the same time is the nasty diverse condition, business partnership, love relationship breakup, all are connected to the Lu11. And also the spleen 1 is often hungry. You can use the bleed by this particular point is good to bring out unwanted stuff which is accumulated his thoughts. So this is one protocol. The second protocol is called as a heart and mind to be regulated. So that particularly point is called as a Ta Ling, that is P7, and then Shen Ma UB62, and then Feng Fu, that is DU16. So these are the 3 points are really good when the emotionally get upset and a love failure and broken hearted situation. We can use one specific point to be called as a pericardium 7, that is a darling, that is always is good, which is located on the transverse ventral wrist crease between the palmaris longus and flexor carpi radialis tendon. You just apply bilaterally. It is recommended 2 points. So at the same time is the childhood trauma or sexual abuse and depression, and all are connected to the UB62. And definitely when UB62 is the great point to induce the natural sleep. The people who don't have the sound sleep, definitely we can add up the 2 points, that is Shenmen also is there, the other one is UB62. But however here is the P7 and then Shenmen H7, both are equally functioning here, and then UB62 always is the calming and and sedating point, because UB62 is the yang chiomai, is the yang heel vessel, is the communicating point that is communicating directly to the central nervous system, especially the brain system, right? The other point is called as a DU16, is the Feng Fu, who resist inflexibility, hysteria, and they are very there is no flexible at all. There is very stubborn kind of the people. What they want, they wanted to do. What they required, we need to give it to them. In that situation, so definitely we can use this one kind of the protocol. And here is the needling to be done is the very surface level, especially for the DU16, because the medulla oblongata is located. We should not damage to the vertebral arteries and basilar artery, so which is very closer to that specific region. Now the other set of the points, this I told you, this you can understand. The one is DU16 is connecting to the heaven, and P7 is connecting to the human, and then UB62 is communicating and connecting to the earth. So there are the three dimensions we can use collectively. But now the other points to be called as a stomach 6 is the Chiachi, right? So Julio and Chiachi. Chiachi is the stomach 6 point, and Ren 24 point is Chianching. The third pericardium 8 is the Lao Gung point. These are the three set of the protocols is really good to treat for the traumatic stress disorders, especially anything connected, because the stomach 6 is called as a ghost bed. So here is anything the post-traumatic stress disorders we call as a PTSD. Right, anything in the childhood happen or something connected to the trauma. So during that accident, people says, I have seen my granny was expired, that situation is hitting me, and somebody, my uncle was no more, I have seen that situation, but I too feel something is connected to that. We also don't survive on this planet. So something is negatively they will going to bring to their mind, that kind of the post-traumatic conditions. And also Ren 24 is the past only thinking. So they don't think about the future, they think only past tense. They don't know how to live, right? And never laugh, and smiling always is worried about it. They never smile. So in this situation we can use the point is called as a Ren 24. And then pericardium 8 is the very important point, which is the Lao Kung point, which is the horary point of the pericardium. We all know pericardium 8 is the point, is in-house point of the pericardium. Here is the pericardium denotes, here is the brain according to the Professor Park Jawu as per the Korean philosophy. But here is the manic conditions. The person is over excitement or some kind of the hallucinations, schizophrenia, and they feel somebody is taking, talking to others. Some kind of the another spirit is talking to somebody. So they are sitting simply, or they are talking to someone to the walls, but you understand that indicating they are affected by the some other spirit which they are talking to somebody else. So in this situation, if the parent says, no, my son is sitting in the isolated place, sometimes he keeps talking in himself, and we thought, whom you are talking? He says, no, I am not talking to anyone. Something is related to this concept definitely in the situation. So we just apply the point called as a Lao Gung point, which is located on the palm, right, on the middle finger where it touches on the palm. That point to be called as a pericardium 8 is the Lao Gung. Bilaterally you can activate this point. So that also communicating to the human, heaven and earth. But here is only this is located on the stomach. Stomach 6 is located here, is the bed that is communicating to the heaven, and Ren 24 is communicating to the human, and then pericardium 8 is communicating to the earth point. The next protocol is called as a Shangxing. That's point called as a DU23, right? DU23 is located one chun proximal to the anterior hairline on the midline on the coronal suture. The point is located here, right? So this point is always is good, because this point is numerous physiological aspect we can use, because according to the Yamamoto new scalp acupuncture, this area is the basal ganglia area, and very close to that point is cerebrum, cerebellum. Both are located on this location. So therefore this particular point is connecting to the heaven, right? The second point is called as a Chuchi, large intestine 11 is communicating to the earth, communicating to the human. So large intestine 11 always is good to treat for the people who feeling the out of control themselves. So they are very emotional most of the times. In that situation we cannot catch them. So that condition, the people who have emotionally, and also sometimes they feel kind of the interphobia, so which immediately they rush to the restrooms because of their kind of the diarrhea, IBS problem, tinnitus, or kind of the feeling to pass the motion. So in this way, that kind of the activities, so that is communicating to the human. The third one is the REN one, is the Hui-Yin point. So that point is the sexual importances, and ashamed about their self body. For example, now they are something connected to that, or impotency or frigidity or something, they could not able to perform the sexual activities, and they feel internally low themselves, and somewhere it is embarrassing because of there is could not able to interact each other. So there is some reason, either it is male or the female. So that time the Hui-Yin point to be activated, because that Hui-Yin point is the most important point. But the people who are getting the internal piles also can be regulated. Very long ago I told, when you give the pressure to this specific point, release and give the 2 to 3 minutes pressure to that particular region to evacuate the motion precisely. Stool passes very clearly. But no doubt this the REN 1 is the resuscitation point, and also it is how the DU26 Shuaigu or the Ren Chung point is good to bring the reviveness or bring the consciousness when the people are shallow, when the people are very they are called as a unconsciousness or coma situation. But here also this specific point is awakening point, because that particular point is midway between the major labial commissure and then perineum of the female, and this point is located on the male is between the scrotum and then anus. So this point is located. So once we give the pressure, so the top diseases street down diseases the top, because DU20 is the distal point for the rectum. So therefore Hui-Yin point is the REN 1 point is the distal point for the head. So therefore the cerebral cortex to be activated by activating this point. So therefore once the brain physiology is good, then the lower G also good. So therefore this three set of the protocols is always is good. Right. So now the last point to be called as a Gui Feng. Gui Feng, the point is located midway between the frenulum of the lip. So specially we call as a Jin Jin Yuye. Jin Jin Yuye is located on the right side and left side of the frenulum, where called as the sublingual veins are there. Under the veins we need to puncture by using the 3-edged needle or some kind of the lancet to puncture this, but here could not able to puncture. Due to that reason the authors has written there is a complementary and additional point to be used, because do you know the DU meridian or Duma meridian, total number of the points are how much? 28 points, but actually the points are 29. So one is internally, one point is located mouth ingeo is 28th point. The 29th point is in tongue, that is this 29th point. But they have given the Gui Feng point. This is the alternate point for the under the tongue. You can use the in tongue, because that also having the greater endocrine points, which is communicating to the all the glands and also supporting to the third eye, and also elevates the overall this CNS, because our pituitary gland, anterior pituitary gland to be activated by activating this point. So therefore once this regulated, our what we call as the basal ganglia, limbic system, and also amygdala, hippocampus, all are to be regulated by activating this point. Another point to be activated as a additional extra point as per my clinical experiences, we can use the point called as a Shuaigu and then Chiosen. That point is gallbladder 8 and then Sangio 20. These are the 2 points also good, because that point is hypothalamus point as well.